High school and college students discovering careers in the field of agriculture and conservation they didn't even realize existed, thanks to the partnership between James Amps of Amps International and the USDA Natural Resources Conservation Service.
Owner of Sage Farms, Dale Brown.
The team has been holding intensive youth entrepreneurship retreats in the U.S. Virgin Islands and in Puerto Rico for the last 2 years through the AMPS Institute program. Now they're bringing its success to Alabama. The goal is for participants to hear what issues the industry is having and build a business around solving it. Then pitch those ideas to judges for investment dollars worth thousands. This incredible retreat in Montgomery, Alabama will be held October 25th through the 27th and is free for participants, but you must register at ampsinstitute.com. That's AMPS Institute.com. Welcome to Newsworthy Stories with Jacqueline Jimenez. We have a special report today. You just heard AMPS Institute is heading to Alabama. And today we're going to talk about the people behind it. So joining me now to talk more about this is Miss Stacia Robinson. She is from the Governor's Office of Alabama, and she is the Director of Minority Affairs. And of course, James Amps is joining us. He is the CEO of AMPS International and the founder of AMPS Institute. Thank you so much for joining me.
We're glad to be here.
Well, thank you, Jacqueline. I appreciate it.
Well, you know, I'm super excited to come out and cover this story in Alabama. I can't wait to see what the students and participants what business ideas they're going to come up with. So tell me why you think it's important to hold this entrepreneurship retreat in Alabama and why people should take advantage of it.
That's a James question, isn't it?
Yeah,
that's a you question.
Yeah,
I want to know.
It'll come back to her, but I appreciate that too, Jacqueline. But you know, the main reason why we're in Alabama is because of Stacia Robinson, who's the director of Alabama Office of Minority Affairs. And it's, you know, we had a conversation and we were talking about our institute and what we do with our retreats with farmers, with entrepreneurship, with youth. And she said it's a perfect opportunity to bring the retreat to Alabama. Because, you know, she has Tuskegee University there, one of the main universities that we're going to work with because of Stacia. And then we have some youth in the high schools, and then we have other organizations that she's connected us with that we're going to have students that come from. So it was a perfect quiet storm for our first retreat coming back to the United States from the, you know, holding the retreats in the Virgin Islands and Puerto Rico. It was a perfect storm for us to come back since Stacia is right there, who is our secondary sponsor for the retreat. We have the USDA, of course, and the NRCS as our main sponsor. And then Stacia has taken the mantle to be our sponsor in Alabama. And that's how we're getting the contacts that we need in Alabama. So everything worked out. She wanted to deal with more farmers. She wanted to deal with more entrepreneurship. And she wanted us to work with the universities and the HBCUs in Alabama. So it worked out for us. So, and I'm glad I hope it's working out for Stacia and her office down there.
It is. It's the synergy that attracted me to everything that I found out you were doing in the islands, which is a bit more glamorous than maybe your peers in Alabama. But at the same time, we have people and programs that need to be amplified through what AMPS Institute does. So we're excited to have you all here.
Why do you think that this particular, you know, as far as the USDA coming, you know, being behind it, is this something important that, you know, for Alabama in particular? Is this generating interest in the field of agriculture and conservation? Is that particularly important in Alabama?
It's very important in Alabama. It's one of the biggest untapped opportunities for, I'll say, our people, but not necessarily only our people, but the land that's available. There's still some major work we need to do, I would say, as a culture, to make sure that we're not losing the land that has been in our hands for generations, but also updating it for the younger generation to understand what the power and the depth of that really means. And so the programs that I saw at how AMPS Institute puts this all together makes that story become relevant, alive, and I'll use your word, newsworthy. I feel like it's very important to have people be exposed to other ways of understanding how to take care of themselves. My personal vision for all of this together, as it relates to the different agencies and people and organizations that are going to be part of this, is that we've got to close the wealth gap, but you can only do that by training and, again, exposing people to different ways of thinking.
And I tell you what, they are going to be so surprised. Now I see Amet Shaplitz is joining us now. And so Amet is our executive director for AMPS Institute. Amet, I'm glad you were able to jump on. I know you were listening, in the green room, the virtual green room there. So can you tell us more about, what participants can expect so we can understand better how to share them what we've been doing?
Well, her sound is, I think you're still on mute, but while her sound is getting in, I just want to, because Stacia has connected us with a few different folks in Alabama, and we have from the Montgomery Chamber of Commerce, Aquan Robinson, who is with the Experience Montgomery. He's also one of our sponsors who's going to sponsor the Union Station train shed that we're going to be actually doing our workshops from. And of course, USDA. And then we have Green Sky Gives with Anthony Brainick, who is another sponsor, giving us more contacts in Alabama, and the Fortitude Leadership Academy from Alvin Tucker. So all these folks are helping, and it all comes through Stacia Robinson, which has been our main contact. And that's why, we love that she's there. And that's why I'm wearing the Olympic shirt, the USA Olympic polo shirt, is because, that's what Stacia Robinson brings. She brings that mental focus, like we're playing in the Olympics, and that's what we need.
Hey, you're bringing the gold medals to the place, so we're ready. So bring it.
And it is. I mean, it really is a gold medal, because we've been doing this for about 2 years in the U.S. Virgin Islands, in St. Croix, St. Thomas, and back, to Puerto Rico twice, St. Croix twice, and it's working. Students are beginning to start interning with the USDA. They're getting that interest in the field of agriculture. And I, just for my own education, I've learned so many different industries or possibilities that are in this industry that I didn't know. And now I only tell people, just go into agriculture. I'm not even pretending. I tell people all the time, just go into agriculture, because they have a place for you, whether it's engineering, marketing, media, veterinarian. Amet, do we have your audio now? Oh, geez.
No, not yet.
Not yet. Amet, we can't hear you. You can hear us? Okay. All right. Well, we'll just have to introduce you then. That's Amet, Shaplitz, and hopefully somehow, I don't know, we'll have to get a soundbite from you when this is over, so we can.
Well, Jacqueline, we brought I met Chaplitz on board in Puerto Rico as our first executive director for the AMPS Institute, because we've been doing most of the work, and then the 30 plus years that she has with nonprofits, as COO, as president of large nonprofits, she brought all that experience to the AMPS Institute, and so we're lucky to have her. And we definitely appreciate, all the work that she does for us. And Stacia, also we have from the USDA NRCS for the state conservationist in Alabama is Ben Malone. And he's the one who, he says, yes, let's do this thing in Alabama. Because once you say we want to do it, then we contact the head of the state, which is Ben Malone. And he said, if you have Stacia Robinson on board, then let's go. And that's where we are. We're like, okay, we're good then.
Well, I'm excited. I will have to ask the personal privilege to interject the full circle aspect of this. Yes. It's actually in my family chain of command, if you will. My father was the first person to work for the Department of Agriculture in the state of Colorado back in the 60s.
Wow.
And he comes from, he went to school at Langston University in Oklahoma. He grew up on a farm in Oklahoma. And so that's where it comes from as far as my personal interest. So fast forward, cousins and everybody's in that. Langston is a land grant school in the country. Tuskegee is a land grant school. And the other school in Alabama is Alabama A&M. So it all ties together as far as, again, the entrepreneurship of agriculture and opportunity, and to, again, update this and modernize it for the next generation.
I think we might have Annette because I can hear her typing.
I don't
Annette,
know.
say something. Yes, we have you.
Yes.
Because all of a sudden I was like, wait a minute. There's only one person typing here.
That is a circle, though, Stacey. That's a great circle to bring it back around.
Yeah.
Something I changed. I'm sorry. It's like I'm so glad I'm so glad I'm here. And you guys are talking about me, and I cannot say anything just to say no. Don't say those things. I'm so glad to be here. Stacey has been great to supporting the institute in this Alabama debut. Is great. I mean, to have our first retreat. I don't know. I want to call it the mainland if we want.
Right.
I don't know. I don't know how we're going to call
That's
this.
what they call it.
Not on an island. Not on an island. Let's say that. Let's say that. And it's it's great to have someone that understands what the importance of what the AMS Institute does in terms of helping young people. Get that mindset. That's what's important for the community. The young people can create that wealth. That community create that wealth creation that is so important.
Yes.
And they understand and they get that business mindset. That's awesome. That's so important. And they can see the possibilities and the opportunities that are out there. Sometimes what our students have or young people have is lack of knowing what's available and not knowing how to access the opportunity. So access is everything, and knowing what's available is so important. So it's so, I'm so glad. I mean, I started in Puerto Rico with the first retreat in Puerto Rico, and now I'm here. It's so exciting, and seeing the support that we're getting to do this is incredible. Thank you, Estacia. Thank you for your support. It's been awesome.
Of course, you all brought it. All I have to do is just let people know. So that's
Right. Yeah.
make it easy for me.
Let's talk about that support a little bit because, the state of Alabama has, this reward for our pitch competition. You have donated more money than we've had in the past. Can we talk about some of that? Because that's a great incentive alone. Stacey.
It's as far as the pitch content. Of course, I don't have the pleasure of having seen one yet, but on the description of what I understand it to be, I think what this does in having them be exposed as participants is to also connect the supporters to see that there's hope. A lot of times we don't give them the credit that they deserve. They're much more aware, I would say, from what I've seen with young people when given a chance. And what we've recently seen with some of the entrepreneurship and student opportunities with the co-op program that we have an intern program and things like that, is that I would say the older generation doesn't ask them enough what they're thinking. And I think this pitch competition will add that perspective and, again, bring it all full circle for everybody, because we need to hear some new ideas, and they just need to know what's there to plug into so that they can make these ideas reality.
And as I get ready to get off of here, Jacqueline and Stacey and I think when I was talking with Stacey about the pitch competition, I think what she really enjoyed was those students who start off in the beginning, and we see them, and it's like from the start to the pitch competition is a 180-degree turn. And it's they learn stuff in the beginning on that Friday, Saturday. Then that Sunday, they're given that information on the stuff they learn on how to solve issues in agriculture and conservation. And so Stacia says, put me in. This
Yes,
is what we want to do. And so that's what we appreciate is, yeah, we're giving more money in the pitch competition this year than we've given before, because we're going to take Stacia's money and add some to it and make it one of the best pitch competitions that we've had. And it just so happens to be, it'll be in Alabama, in Stacia Robinson's hometown or home state. So we love the fact that we have you on board, Stacia. Thank you for the sponsorship. Thank you for all the meetings that we've had and the folks you're introducing us to in Alabama to make this retreat a success. And we definitely appreciate all the work that you do. So thank you very much.
I appreciate you, and it's just an example of it's not who you know, it's how well you know them. So
Exactly.
I know
I like that add-on.
Going to make sure that it is a success. So we're excited.
Thank you, and we'll talk to you all later. Got it from here.
All right, I mean,
Thanks,
you know,
y'all.
thank you so much, James. I appreciate it. I know you got to run. I do want to go ahead and share. I wanted to share the website a little bit, and to give people an idea of when they go to that website and where they can apply. I want them to be able to see that, and maybe you can talk them through that a little bit as far as to where they should go on the website. You can see over here,
Yeah, right there, the apply now. That's what it's gonna take the participants, the applicants to the application, and the application is if you go down a little bit, you will see the session there. You see the Montgomery, Alabama session, and that's where you're going to apply and follow, like it says, there. Click here to apply. Very simple, very easy. There is a series of forms that have to be signed. Those students that are younger than 18, there is a series of things that parents have to sign. We always have a good mix of students from like high school seniors to college freshmen. You have that combination. So those students that are younger have their parents sign some of those forms, and then the other ones will sign their portion as well. There is a portion that they need to write about what is it that they want to do. If they have an idea already, that is there. So it's just following the application. The application process is simple. It's not complicated, and just submit to the email that is given there, the institute email, which is info@amsinstitute.com. And we will get the applications inside the process. And it is important to apply early, though. There is normally the retreat goes for like about 25 to 30 spots, and we get a lot of applications. So we will select our team will select those participants. So it's very important to apply early and to submit all the information that is there in the application. So there is no delays in that. So
not only that, the one thing that's really important to mention is this is no cost.
Absolutely.
Because of these great sponsors, there is no cost to the participant, which I think
there's no cost for accommodations, no registration fees, meals included. And as professionals, we know when we go to conferences, a lot of time we say, "Oh, meals are not included." When we go to conferences as professionals, you have to buy your lunch and your dinner and things like that. Here, everything is included for the participants. Materials are included, sessions, and not to mention the getting to know so many cool friends and getting friends, because the participants make connections there, because then um, we always get like a WhatsApp group for that particular retreat. So they continue to connect, they continue to ask questions, and we follow and provide support for a year.
That's
And
right.
when I say a year is, I'm just, because I know that when I came in, I was talking to students that have been in retreats for like the past 2 years. And I still, and James told me, hey, can you talk to the students and help with, applications to particular thing or something or other. So I said 1 year minimum. But the reality is that we will continue to support, and they will continue to have our contacts. The other day, I got a phone call, an interesting phone call from Puerto Rico, and I realized the area code. I said, well, maybe one of the students from the retreat is calling me, and it was another young guy that heard of the program. Somehow he got my number and was calling me for me to help him with something related to, the FFA, the Future Farmers of America, and all that for his school. And I said, how you have my number? Oh, someone gave it to me, he said. So I was working with a young guy that was not part of the retreat in Puerto Rico, but he heard of the institute and somehow got my number, and so this
Well,
happens all the time. I know it has happened. I know Jackie has done a lot of things after the retreat with participants, interviews and exposures that he has helped people with what they do, and our trainers that they continue to prepare students for pitch competitions, for college applications, for so many things. So
yes, that's exactly what I was going to say to say, Stacia, is that often, we're talking, yes, entrepreneurship, but we know that many of these kids may go to college first. Some are ready, some are like, I'm not going to college. I'm going to start my business now. And they do that. Some of them actually come in there with that mentality, but sometimes they come in with that mentality and leave with, I think I will go to college, So
yeah,
it
it's,
really depends on the person.
yeah.
But the main thing is that AMP Institute has helped many of these kids fill out those college applications, help them get, work towards grants or scholarships, and and actually win other pitch competitions. And so, or come in second place. I think one came in second place, right?
Yes.
So, but incredible, things. So these participants are not in it for a weekend. It's intense. I always tell people, I
Very.
always put that in my stories because, it's an intense 30 hours. I think it is 30. I think last time it was like 34 hours. It's intense. Sleep is not something you're not coming to sleep. You're going to be working because that pitch competition is real. The investment dollars are real, but the investment into your life, these skills are lifelong. And
Yeah.
yeah, so
Well, I'm looking forward to seeing how that unfolds. I would say that many times people may not be aware that, certainly not the students, that how you play games is how you live life. And so it sounds like they'll be exposed to the fact that there are rules to the game,
Oh
uh,
yes.
obvious and
Absolutely.
not obvious, and just having exposure to the concept that there are rules that they can use to their advantage and
Hmm.
succeed in life is powerful. I'm very excited, looking forward to it.
And
well, we
also,
are too.
yeah, the program is structured in a sense in those 30 hours, 34 hours. The students are exposed to things that like work ethics, like deadlines. You have to work in a
Right.
team, um, because at first, we were able to see that let's say in Puerto Rico, it's like you see, oh my God, this team is not getting there. They're struggling to, and to, they work out the differences. They understand consensus, how important it is to find consensus when you're working in a team. Even the dress code. How do you dress for a presentation? For a, I mean, James is very specific about these things because it is important. You need to experience that and understand the reason. And the way Stacia was framing this is like you have to know how to play these games if you want to be successful. And one thing is how you present yourself. How do you, speaking? How do you conduct yourself in a group? How do you react to, you know, authority in a sense? We are putting this together. So how do you interact with people that are in charge of an event? Um, it's a complete package that is condensed in a 34-hour 30 to 35 hour event that is great. I mean, it is great. I was very pleased, when I saw those students working like at 2 in the morning. They were like going and they said, oh no, we have to, they were like tweaking those plans and doing things 2 3 in the morning, and they were serious about this. And that's not how they started. The first the first day of the opening session was one thing, and that last closing session was awesome, and they were working so hard. And I said, wow, I wish I had staff like that when I was managing, a group of people, because they were very engaged, and that passion, and the questions that were asking, and it was and you can see, you will know, we have ambassadors. That's another thing. Students that are in a retreat, uh, normally you always have your stars, right? Those students that are very involved and all that. We will bring them back as ambassadors to the next retreat. So you have ambassadors and you have senior ambassadors. So this year we're bringing four ambassadors. Normally we bring two, right, Jackie? So this year we're bringing four ambassadors to Alabama. Uh, Start students that have been to one or two retreats already, and to help with the students and help them get their plans ready, uh, and that peer relationship. People connect with people that are their same age, and they have gone through the same experiences. So those students are instrumental, and you'll know these four ambassadors that are awesome young people, so mature, and so on point. So that from Alabama, from the group in Alabama, we will select a couple of ambassadors, maybe more, for the next retreat anywhere else we do it. We're looking at doing another retreat in Florida. Uh, Coming up, most likely the next one would be a Florida retreat. So we will bring students from the Alabama retreat as ambassadors. So that, and they will get a consulting fee for being an ambassador.
That's right.
So
They get paid. Yeah. So they're very serious about, if you're working as a student, you're definitely going to get paid. It's really all about entrepreneurship and actually showing them their worth. But I don't want to close out without mentioning, our master trainer, Juan Casimiro. He's
Mhm.
amazing. He is the
Amazing
CEO
guy.
of Biznovator, but that duo with James and Juan is just extraordinary. I love watching them work together and how they share. If you want to see any of the other stories, you can go to ampsinstitute.com and go to the media and just start watching, start seeing some of the things that they have already done. And you will just get excited because you're going to get hands-on experience when you go to these retreats. And Miss Stacia, I'm just so thankful that you gave us your time today.
Of course.
Looking forward to experiencing what happens in Alabama. And I met, she's a rock star as well. So I'm just getting to know Amet, from this last retreat in Puerto Rico. But what a rock star she is. So we
Oh,
look
thank you.
forward to you guys joining us. It's free to participate, but you must apply. And as Amet said, apply early. Apply early. Thank you so much for joining me on Newsworthy Stories with Jacqueline Jimenez. And we'll see you
Thank you.
soon.
Cecilia, thank you, Jackie.
Of course. Thank you both. Looking forward to it.